What's up, everybody? My name is Jeremy Jones and I am back with another video. Today I'm talking my weekly sneaker rotation, so stay tuned.
Doesn't make sense. I don't really know. Got a lot of things changing in my life. Hoping one day I'ma get it all right. Brother is engaged, but I started new life. Yeah, I haven't had a chill day. Really wanna vibe, appreciate the moments. I've been creating, not scrolling. Mom and dad still supporting.
Alright, man, I'm back with another video, man. Before I get too deep into this video, y'all already know what to do. Go and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you're new, consider subscribing. I made content about sneakers. Alright, so let's dive into today's video. Just like I said in the intro, man, I am back with another weekly sneaker rotation. Now, this should be week 56 to the best of my knowledge. And if I'm wrong, feel free to correct the kid down in the comment section. Now, y'all already know I started this series off at the beginning of the year in 2023. And here we are, it's week 56. Y'all know I'm gonna continue the count until I just can't continue it no more. But anyway, man, so pretty much, y'all already know how this goes. I pretty much start things off on a Saturday because I end things off on a Friday. If you wanna get a sneak peek of what I'm wearing throughout the week, sign up for that sold out Discord. The link is pinned at the top of the chat and it is free to sign up. So I definitely post pictures on there, but we also have other topics like we have a food section, a sports section, we have fitness section, we have a lounge, and just upcoming sneaker releases and just sneaker talk in general, right? Okay, but enough rambling. Let's just go ahead and get into this weekly sneaker rotation, right? Okay, so like I said, I end things off on a Friday and then pick things right back up on a Saturday. So pretty much starting Saturday, man, the kid had to obviously run some errands, which I don't think I went to the barbershop, but don't quote me on that because I don't remember wearing these to the barbershop. In fact, to keep it 100, I'm almost positive I had to run. I don't even know what I had to do, but obviously I had to step out. But I stepped out of none other than the Air Jordan 5, and this is the Supreme Camo joints right here. I don't think the weather was probably bad just yet, but it was in the process, and it's probably just felt right. So I had to step out of these guys. A shoe that I don't wear enough, and people have requested it because they see it in the background often. They're like, yo, why don't you wear those Supreme 5s? Why don't you wear those Supreme 5s? I do, but you know, honestly, sometimes you just get very selective when picking certain shoes, but this was my Saturday shoe, was a Supreme 5s, a shoe that I have, to be honest, I have contemplating on selling like time and time, but every time I get ready to sell it, I just can't find it in myself to actually do so. It is a shoe that I actually really wear. I just need to actually put it in more wear. But I can say that probably about any sneaker, because honestly, as one thing, as you notice, and I'm pretty sure for the people who do got a lot of sneakers, or just in general, the more your collection grows, the more and more you'll see that it's harder and harder to actually get every shoe in rotation. But this is the point of weekly sneaker rotation, is to make sure I try to get every sneaker in rotation, right? Okay, so this was my Saturday shoe, was a Supreme Camo 5s. Now we're gonna move right along on to Sunday, and if I'm not mistaken, right, okay, I think it didn't snow, but it was extremely cold, and I haven't bought these shoes out in a long time, and in fact, I probably shouldn't call them shoes. But anyway, on Sunday, the kid stepped in none other than his polo boots. Now, this is a very old pair, probably the first pair of polo boots I bought. They don't even have like shoestrings like my all black joints. They actually have a zip up joint. Now, the problem with these, right, and I don't know if the camera's gonna do this any justice, and it probably will as I show you guys it on feet. I was thinking, like, when I grab these, like, it may be time to let these joints go. Now, like I said, they probably don't look bad on camera, but up close and personal, yeah, the leather is cracking. I've had these joints for, I wouldn't be surprised, like, right out of high school, bro. I've had these joints way longer, and I put these joints through HE double hockey sticks and back. I mean, these joints have been my go-to whenever there's snow on the ground, when it's just too cold. And to be honest, I want to say on Sunday, it was just freezing cold where it just made sense, right? Okay, the inside of these joints, which the camera's not going to do this any justice, but it is really bad in there. Even though it looks probably okay on camera, it's bad in there, man. It's probably, but at the same time, it's probably a good beater shoe also, where I didn't have to mess up none of my crazy heat. So this was my Sunday shoe where I just wore basically my beater polo boots, but to the naked eye, they probably didn't look as bad, but this was my Sunday shoe, was the polo boot. All right, now we're gonna move right on to Monday. Y'all know I'm right back at to work, and I work a full-time job. So pretty much the weather had kind of cleared up, even though we did get some weather at the end of the week that was pretty much bad. But on Monday, the kid stepped in none other than the Air Jordan 12, and this is the French blue joints. I remember when I actually hit on these, I got these from East Bay, right? I remember everybody was going crazy for these, and this was before bots, it kind of just took over. I actually had two in the cart, and I didn't want to actually mess up and try to clear one out, so I went on and just bought two pair, and I flipped the other pair, and I pretty much got these almost for free. I mean, back then resale wasn't as crazy when these joints dropped. I think, let me check the year. These actually dropped in 2015, right? Okay, so yeah, if it wasn't 2015, it was right at 2016. The production date on these says 2015, so if it wasn't that, it was the top at 2016, and I think I was coming off the hype of pretty much the probably the Flu Game 12s, and I was like, okay, you got the black pair, why not get the white and blue pair? You know, sometimes you would just do things like that back in the day, and it just made sense, man. So pretty much French blue 12s is what I rocked on Monday. A shoe that I just can't find in myself to get rid of. It's kind of like low-key one of those beaters, but I still keep it in good condition, but still one of my favorite shoes in my collection. So Air Jordan 12 French blues is what I wore on Monday. Now we're gonna move right along on to Tuesday. Again, the kid right back at to work, and to be honest, I guess I was just in a blue mood, right? Okay, a shoe that I don't wear enough, and I actually did pay resale for these, and at the time, it was during that hype where everything was just expensive, so the kid technically came off the hip with the chips for a shoe that I probably shouldn't have came off the hip with the chips for. So on Tuesday, the kid stepped in none other than the Air Jordan 1 UNC, right? Okay. Y'all know I do the mix match laces on these. Like, yeah, I paid probably way too much for these shoes, and actually for the quality controls on these are not the best, but at the same time, I think when these joints dropped, it was during the peak of COVID, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can get a production date on this for you guys real quick. Yeah, these joints dropped in, let me double check, 2020. And 2020 and 2021, every shoe was a hard cop. So pretty much this is one of those, I did end up paying resale on these because I really wanted these, but I probably low-key, looking back on it, I probably should have just waited it out. But anyway, this was my Tuesday shoe, was the Air Jordan 1 UNC, a shoe that low-key, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. It would have just been much better if I could have got it for retail. But then again, I could probably arguably say that argument about every single shoe in my collection. And to keep it 100, not every shoe in my collection I got for retail, right? Okay, but this was my Tuesday shoe, the Air Jordan 1 UNC. All right, now we're gonna move right on to Wednesday. I don't know what inspired me to actually pick up this shoe, but I feel like, man, you know what? Some shoes you can't always just wait for a special moment. Sometimes you just need to wear your kicks in general, right? Okay, so on Wednesday, the kid stepped in none other than the Travis Scott, and this is the SB Dunks joints, right? Okay, a shoe that I did actually, I think I caught from GOAT. And that's when I gave GOAT finally a second chance after not trying them for years. And everything went good so far, man. It's a shoe that obviously I've been looking at a lot. And it's a shoe that, to be honest, it didn't really turn a lot of heads at work, but because I feel like everybody was not surprised to see me rocking these guys. But arguably one of my favorite shoes in my collection, and I could arguably say that I don't wear this enough. And yes, I know it's got the tearaway material because it's meant to be skated, but I actually like the bandana look. I wear a bandana all the time in my videos, even though it's not like red and it's got that navy hit. I wouldn't be mad if they did a red version though. I think that would go hard, right? Okay, I would like to actually see some images of that, but arguably one of my favorite shoes in my collection. Definitely had to break them in. The tongue is actually pretty thick on this paws, but definitely had to break them in, but totally really worth it. So now they're actually wearable, more comfortable. So one of the things too I want to say, if you have shoes that are probably stiff, wear your shoes and break them in, man. Shoes are meant to be worn. I mean, they are nice display pieces and a nice decorative item as well. If some people just like to have them, I guess just to look at them, but I'm actually rocking my kicks over here. So this was my Wednesday shoe, was the Travis Scott SB. All right, now we're gonna move right on to Thursday. Weather pretty much got bad. We expected a lot of rain. So pretty much y'all know when it's rain, I bring out the patent leather. So I brought out none other than the Air Jordan 11 Win Like 96s, right? Okay, y'all know red is one of my favorite colors, and arguably this is another shoe that I had contemplating and debated on like getting rid of. I actually had it in the box, about to sell the joints, but something always comes over me, man. I have that moment where I'm just like, man, you gotta have, and I'm not gonna say this is necessarily a beater, but you gotta have a shoe that still gonna be fire, but you're not afraid to mess up. And I feel like this is that shoe. The same as like I could put probably with my Air Jordan 12 French Blue 12s, right? Okay, the French Blue 12, same shoe. Like I'm not afraid to mess this up. I did get these joints for retail. I actually did a mall vlog on these, I'm positive. But arguably one of my favorite shoes in my collection, even though I have contemplated selling it, I just love red. And I feel like I got enough red in my collection, ironically, right, that I know I can wear this shoe probably really low key. I could probably get away wearing this shoe every other day, but you know, 11s, I don't really wear it every single day. But I've always said this, 11s is a good shoe where if you're gonna have some bad weather, but you still gotta step out and make moves. If you don't have a beater shoe, I feel like the 11 is always a safety, right? Okay, especially if they're old. And this is a safety. I wouldn't necessarily say, it is, I'll say it is a beater shoe for me, but it's actually a dope beater shoe, right? So pretty much this was my Thursday shoe, was the Air Jordan 11 Win Like 96s. All right, man, now we're gonna close out the week pretty much on Friday. Pretty much a chill day, had to run some errands. Of course, the kid had to go to work as usual, but it's a shoe that I picked up recently. I wanna say I picked these joints up last year. Don't wear enough, and I'm gonna say I don't wear this model enough in general because I do got several in my collection. So pretty much on Friday, the kid stepped in none other than the Air Jordan 8, and these are the playoff joints, man. Now, arguably one of my favorite shoes in my collection, don't wear enough. And but I kind of just got it too. I had waited forever for these joints to finally restock and re-come back out. So arguably, I know I did a mall vlog on these. Arguably one of my favorite shoes in my collection. Y'all know I wear the wings open right here. Even though it doesn't have anything special written on these guys, it's just regular wings on these. Still totally worth it to me if you ask the kid. Arguably one of my favorite shoes in my collection. Y'all know me, I'm a sucker for red, but I'm also a sucker for black and red. I just feel like it hits super duper good, right? Okay. Y'all know I wear these joints, super comfortable. 8s, I feel like don't get enough love in the sneaker community. It's kind of one of those, you either rock with them or you don't. But then again, we could probably say that about any shoe. But the 8s, I feel like don't get enough love. It also takes me back to like my childhood too. So these are kind of like more like sentimental values for the kids. So other than that, man, pretty much this was my Friday shoe, was the Air Jordan 8 playoffs. All right, man, so that pretty much wraps up this weekly sneaker rotation. What do you guys think down in the comment section? Of course, as always, let me know what you wore throughout the week as well. I definitely look forward to reading the comments and seeing what you guys wear as well. But other than that, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of this thing and stop rambling, man. Y'all be sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you're new, consider subscribing. I made content about sneakers. Again, my name is Jeremy Jones, and thank you for watching, and I'm out.
I feel